Hollow body. Hollow body is a foundational move in gymnastics to teach proper spinal positioning and total body tensioning. The shape resembles a lying banana or hammock. You must flatten your lower back to the floor throughout the drill. It also teaches you how to breathe in a compressed position. Mix between inhaling through the nose into the belly and fully exhaling through the mouth for time or reps. Start with the tucked body position. Progress to moving the arms and legs away from each other until you're fully extended. The hollow body pump, where you move between a tucked and extended position, is a fantastic dynamic variation for abdominal development. You can also add rocks and rolls to increase the stability demands. Be sure to do it on a padded surface. My favorite variations are doing flies and pullovers with light dumbbells. This absolutely crushes your core and mobilizes your shoulders. Front plank. The front plank trains your anterior core to resist lumbar spine extension, and you must first master the plank before you master the push-up. It can be performed on the forearms or hands. The forearm variation is more of a strength challenge, where the longer lever hands variation is more of a stability challenge. Train both positions for best results. Make it easier by elevating the hands. Make it harder by elevating the feet. The classic progression is flowing from 4 to 3 to 2 points of contact to increase the stability demands in the following order: both hands and feet, one leg, one arm, and opposite arm and leg. The 5-second box breath plank is my favorite variation because it strengthens your most important core muscle, the diaphragm. 5-second inhale through nose into belly, 5-second breath hold, 5-second exhale through mouth, and 5-second breath hold. That's one rep or breath cycle that takes 20 seconds to complete. Do 3 to 6 reps or hold for 1 to 2 minutes. Side plank. The side plank trains your lateral core to resist lateral flexion or side bending and rotation. It can be performed on the forearms or hands. The forearm variation is more of a strength challenge, where the longer lever hands variation is more of a stability challenge. Train both positions for best results. You can either stack the feet harder or stagger them easier. Make it easier by elevating the hands. Make it harder by elevating the feet. The exercise can be further regressed by bending the knees at 90 degrees. This is called a short lever side plank. The top 2 progressions involve elevating a leg. Elevate the top leg, abduction, to work your lateral glutes more. Elevate the bottom leg, adduction, to work the groin more. The rolling plank is an excellent option because you're flowing between 3 main plank positions: left side, front, and right side. My favorite variation is a side plank to push-up transfer because you change levels and move in all 3 planes of motion. Back plank. The back plank or bridge trains your posterior core to resist flexion. Consider it a reverse front plank. This drill is a must to offset the damaging effects of prolonged sitting by activating the glutes and mobilizing the hips. Adding a mini band above the knees increases lateral hip activation. The proper bridging progression is as follows: knees bent, lying on back, knees bent on hands, legs straight on hands, and legs straight on forearms. You can add marches to any variation to strengthen imbalances between sides and increase hip flexor activation. My favorite variation is the glute ham walkout, where you start with your knees bent and slowly walk your feet out until your legs are fully extended, and then return to the starting position. Try this for 2 minutes for one of the best equipment-free glute and hamstring workouts in the game. You can even add marches to this. Crawls. Quadruped movement sets the stage for sound bipedal movement. That's why you must first learn to crawl before you can walk. The bear crawl works the anterior chain or the front side of your body. Think of it as a moving plank. The crab crawl works the posterior chain or back side of your body. Think of it as a moving bridge. First, position your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Then sync up the movement of the opposing arm and leg and mix between an inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth every step. You can perform both types of crawls from a high and low position. Mix between linear and lateral movement for best results. My favorite variation is the bear to crab roll, which allows you to fluidly flow between both shapes for a 3-dimensional mobility and stability challenge. You can also play with arm and leg reaches to spice them up. One of my favorite starters or finishers is 5 to 10 minutes of continuous crawls, resting only as needed. Overhead sit-ups. You don't have to do sit-ups to get abs or be fit. but it's also not the worst exercise either. Stop doing sit-ups like this. The key is focusing on moving upwards instead of going forwards. Sit tall. This way your hips and shoulders drive the movement instead of your spine. This exercise is also best performed at slower speeds, especially on the eccentric or lowering phase. Take 3 to 5 seconds going down for best results. Start with your body weight or a light med ball. Exhale through the mouth going up, inhale through the nose going down. Then hold the dumbbell in one hand to strengthen imbalances between sides and increase the stability demands. Hold the dumbbell in both hands for more of a strength building stimulus. My favorite variation is a double press sit-up, where you do 2 floor presses, sit up, and then do 1 overhead press. Repeat this complex for time. This is one of the best arms, abs, and shoulders workouts you'll ever do. Finally, the sit-up get-up, where you move from the ground to stand and back, is also the ultimate full-body abs exercise. Reverse crunches. The reverse crunch targets your hip flexors and lower abs. I highly recommend squeezing a foam roller or padded med ball between your legs to increase pelvic floor activation. And because your pelvis attaches to your lumbar spine, this also optimizes lower back positioning. Start with a lighter med ball and slowly build up from there. First, master the hip flexion component. With your knees bent at 90 degrees, slowly lower your feet to the ground while keeping your lower back flat into the floor. Then add a posterior pelvic tilt at the top to get after those lower abs. Lift your hips off the ground as if pouring a glass of water towards your head. Press your arms underground for maximum stability. You can also grab onto heavy weights placed behind your head. This will improve your leverage and allow for a more sustained muscular contraction. You must use a slow and controlled tempo for best results. Abs Wheel Rollouts. The Abs Wheel is one of the few fitness infomercial products that actually works. First, lock your legs together to increase midline tensioning and spinal stability. Squeeze a med ball or foam roller for best results. Then, keeping your arms completely straight, slowly roll out as far as you can for 3 to 5 seconds without hyperextending your lower back. Smoothly inhale through your nose into your belly to stabilize your spine. Gradually increase the range of motion until you're fully extended with your nose touching the floor. Fully exhale through your mouth to pull yourself back to the starting position. My favorite variation is adding band tension to light up your lats as you roll back to the starting position. I recommend sets of 5 to 10 reps with flawless form. Or try 1 to 2 minute work periods and focus on time under tension. No abs wheel? Modify with workout or furniture sliders, which increase the stabilization demands by working each arm independently. You can also do equipment-free push-up walkouts, which have added hip mobility benefits. Chops and twists. It's critical to first train your core on the floor to build a rock-solid foundation. But arguably, the best core training is done on your feet. Chops and twists teach you how to pivot your feet and rotate your hips while stabilizing your spine. This is one of the most important movement patterns for overall athleticism. The chop is done in a diagonal manner from low to high. Be sure to sit down into each rep so that your shoulders are always higher than your hips. The twist is done horizontally at shoulder level. Increase the difficulty by squatting down more to increase hip and thigh engagement. Hold the med ball to increase the loading demands. You can also grab the other end of an anchored resistance band. The band provides a unique dynamic variable resistance where the tension increases as it stretches. It also pulls you back faster, increasing the deceleration demands. Hanging leg raises. The hanging leg raise is the king of core exercises. The arms overhead position also provides the biggest core stability challenge, plus it tests your grip strength to the max. You should be able to hang effortlessly for a full minute before attempting this exercise. Focus on pulling down against the bar for maximum stability. Fully exhale through your mouth to lift your knees above hip level to activate your high hip flexors or psoas. Squeeze the top position for a count or 2. Then, inhale through the nose to slowly lower back to the starting position. Progress from alternating legs to lifting both legs simultaneously. You can further regress the exercise by doing an overhead march with your feet on the floor while gripping a pull-up bar. I mostly do this exercise with a padded Dynamax med ball between my legs. This not only trains the pelvic floor, but it spaces my feet properly for this exercise to function like a reverse squat. That's right, it will improve your squatting mechanics. I use a heavier med ball for lower reps and a lighter med ball for higher reps. This move can also be done from a dip support position.